Hello, and once again, thank you very much for all the feedback on the conversations to date. And thanks for sharing your memories of performances and performing in the Town Hall, the Arts Centre, and theatres round and about. My guest today has been in more pantos than she can recall, and as the heroine and the villain, has wowed audiences with her standout performances. She's given it the Heidi High and holiday camps and performed on the stage of the National Theatre in London. She really needs no introduction to Newry audiences, performing with many of the local theatre groups and with the Ulster Youth Theatre. She deserves to arrive in style. So let's see who's waiting for us at the Newry Town Hall gates for today's conversation. What an introduction.
I think I was the oldest Cinderella in town, was I?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, that was filmed before lockdown when the hairdressers were open, and the canal court was open. And
well, that was a wig I had on, because before I got the part, I used to have long hair, and I cut my hair. And I'll never forget getting the part of Cinderella, and I had to get a hairpiece or a wig. And I'll never forget going to get it sorted out, and the woman went to me, and what part are you playing? And I went, Cinderella, and she went, you're Cinderella? And then, oh my God, maybe I shouldn't be Cinderella at my age, you know. Scary looking back at those. That was freezing that day that we videoed that. Everybody else was sitting having cups of tea and coffee in the canal court, and that was one of the coldest days of the year we filmed that.
It was great for us all to get a chance to do something a bit broader than just the rehearsals, to get out and do a bit of filming, and it was fun.
It was the day out for it, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then it became a flying sequence, and then it became a fight sequence, and you were there in the midst of all of those.
You know what? For some reason, I don't know many fight scenes that I've done, and it's the same one we do all the time.
Oh no, it's not.
Oh yes, it is. Me and Damien Lavery. What was it? Drum and Time.
How did stage and being on stage and all that begin for you, Edel?
Believe it or not, I was very shy, and I went to school with Jeanette Comer and Dirty Comer, speech and drama teacher, and I think it was after school one day, Mummy mentioned that I was very shy and I was hiding behind my mummy's leg, and Miss Comer suggested, well, maybe send her to my classes, and that was it. Kicked off from there. Went to all the faces, went to Warnpoint Face, Newry Face, Banbridge Face, from probably the age of 4 right up until 18. Went to university, but went through the whole faces, all that sort of routine. Went up from, I remember my first poem, it was Honey Bear by Elizabeth Lyons. Don't remember it now, so I'm not going to do it for you. But used to do the ballads. I was a big ballad person, like the ballad of Dick Turpin was mine, and Young Lachlan Var, and Wee Huey used to do all those. People used to play the guitar or sing or do things. You play your guitar, you sing your wee song. Edel, go and say your poem. I'm going, oh my God, who wants to hear a poem? The ballad of Dick Turpin, When I look back now, I think, oh God, shoot me now. But yeah, it built my confidence.
I mean,
Yeah, just
and you said you were, well, you maybe didn't know you were shy. You know, at 4, do you know you're shy or do you not know you're shy? But you know, when you went on to the stage, can you remember being nervous going on to the stage, or did you just
yeah.
slide out there and wait for that bell to ring
So
and off you went?
second, when I'm nervous, I yawn, right? And I find when you were doing those poems, you're yourself. You know, I'm up there as saying the poem as Edel. Whilst if you're doing Charlie's plays and you're acting and performing, you are somebody else. So I'm a lot more comfortable doing that rather than this here sort of conversation. And I always remember I was reading at mass. I used to read at mass in the Dominican, and 12 mass it was too. And I'd be standing there, you know, just about to go up to do my readings, and I'd be yawning away like a good one. I remember this man used to always look over at me and go, "What is she only up out of her bed? This is ridiculous." But I was
The
preparing
day's
myself.
youth, disrespectful.
You know, trying to, you know, project to get up and do this. But yeah, so I would say that I use the security blanket of the character in the role, and still to this day, I get nervous before I go on the stage. We were doing a show in Warm Point, one of Charlie's plays, and Rosalind and I were in one of the shows, and we were cutting it fine, let's put it this way, to get down to the show. And Rosalind was on before me. So we're just about to go into the town hall in Warm Point, and I'm going, "Where are you going? Come on, let's do this." And she goes, "Going for an ice cream." So she was away for the ice cream. Was I needed to go in, set myself up, get my props ready, be prepared, psych myself up for this role. There was Rosalind coming back with the ice cream, making the ice cream, and she just walked on, you know.
See, now this conversation is about you.
Oh, I know it's
I
about
wasn't
me.
going to introduce the other sister, maybe until later on, but as you've introduced her, I will just say that of the two, I would have always said you were the quiet, in the corner with the script, learning the lines,
That's
and
me.
then on stage, a dynamic performance.
Oh,
And
I
you
love
just
you.
saw a different you as you came onto the stage out of the wings.
That's it. That would be me. That would be me. You know, I would say you've summed me up to a T there. Yeah. Once I'm hiding behind that role and up on that stage, I go for it. I love the art centre. I love the intimacy of the art centre. And the art centre doesn't really get that much, you know,
Yeah.
talked about. You know what I mean? But I love doing the shows there because of the intimacy. And whenever I used to teach in the tech, we would direct shows there. And so I bring all the students there. And I think that's a good way of learning your craft when you have an audience so close to you and trying to perform and get their attention. You know, Charlie would always say about the town hall with the crisps, if they're rattling the crisps, you've lost them. You know, that's why whenever he was doing the show, sure, all our lines would be cut. No, you're talking too long. They're not going to be listening to you. You know, so the scripts every year are getting thinner and thinner with the panto. You know,
Move it
because
on.
they don't want to move it on. We want to see the kids.
Funnily enough, you should say that. And I don't think my lines were ever cut, Edel.
No, because I think that's because you didn't have any lines. You just added your own in all the time. We asked for a look, and if I remember correctly, you didn't know what was going to come out of your mouth. You were on your toes at all times, and you were on the stage. What's he going to say? He's going to take them at the enemy now. What's he going to do? You know.
And that's a sort of beauty of panto, because you can get away with that.
But the audience love to see a good laugh too. They love to see, especially in Charlie's plays, whenever you miss a line or two or three or whatever, or something goes wrong. They love it. The audience loves it. You know.
I think if we videoed that sort of rehearsals 2 or 3 days before the first curtain up, when you have pockets of panic going on with principals going, "I thought I learned this months ago. I promised myself last year I would never leave it till the last day." You've got the dancers maybe in dancing groups rehearsing down at the back underneath the balcony. You've the tiny tots and the juniors up on stage. Somebody shouting, "Where are you now, Edel? Edel, you're on." And it is just heaving with energy.
Yeah, that buzz that you get, you know yourself from doing all the shows. You can't beat it. And to be in that environment, you're very privileged, I think, to be able to be part of something so special. Because, you know, it is magical.
Like the magic carpet, it just flies.
Just flies. That magic carpet. I've been on a couple of magic carpets in my time.
Were you involved in shows with the school?
we did the Miracle Man. I think it was in second year, and Joanne Burns was in that. She was brilliant. She was Jesus, and she's a cousin of yours, isn't she?
She still is.
Joanne,
yeah, she's a cousin.
Yeah, she still is a cousin. Yeah, but she's fantastic actress. I always looked up to her, and I was a narrator in that. I was like Eamon Holmes, coming up with a red book and opening the red book and telling the story of Jesus, and I loved that. Then I was part of the drama group, and then I remember they were doing The King and I was called to the music teacher, Miss Connolly, her music room, and I was doing O levels at the time. Nowadays, O levels, not GCSEs, folks. And auditioned for The King and got The King, and that's when everything changed for me. It was just amazing. Such the atmosphere created with like all my friends in classes, and all of my wives and the kids, and all the teachers involved. Kate McSherry, Mrs. McSherry was such an influence on probably what I wanted to do then. From then on, I really wanted to act, and it was partly her influence. She was a fantastic director, and Miss Cosgrove, Miss McGarry, Miss McNulty, and Miss McClory now, Miss Doyle, costumes, amazing cast, and team there in that. Yeah, it was brilliant, that show. And funny, it was up on Facebook there a couple of weeks ago, just on the Newry old page, those looking back. Mm-hmm. And the amount of comments underneath that people still remember, they still talked about that, The King and I. And the fact that I played the part of a man as well.
The other thing I would say that I remember in particular, the Yul Brynner production of The King and I. And from what I recall of that, the King's role isn't really a heavy singing role. As long as it can be 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3, and you'll get away with it. I mean,
well, you know what?
I don't know. What's your thoughts on the singing requirements for that role?
Singing requirements. Now you're going to talk about musicals. Now, I feel as if I can hold a tune, just about. Yeah. No, you didn't have to sing. The King did not have to sing. I didn't. When I was a boy, world was better spot. I can remember all the words. What was so was so. What was not was not. But I went to other musicals.
Yeah, right. And you had to sing in those.
Yes, I had to. Poor Mr. Frame. When I ended up going to do my A levels in the Sacred Heart, and Miss Bell, they did The Merry Widow, and I was playing the part of Yeagus. And poor Mr. Frame, I think I had him tortured. There was a quintet, like you had the fantastic singers, Denise Larkin, Avian Anderson, there was loads in that. I can't even remember that far back. But I had this one line, it was a quintet, and I had to sing with all the ones I could sing. And I was to sing, my little scheme will be a great success, something like that. And I was looking at him every time, and he had to go like this to me. He's conducting, go, right, no, no. Oh, and I wasn't nervous about anything else. That was the only bit that I'd be nervous for. Going, right, I'm in now. When do I come in? When do I come in? No, it's not that singing wasn't my forte. It's just I never ever got the opportunity to sing properly, Declan.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was all that speech and drama at 4, took you in the wrong direction.
In the pantomime, I was playing the part of Jill. I shouldn't be telling you this, but I'll tell you. Don't tell anybody. Jack and the Beanstalk. It was last minute. Sometimes things happen last minute in the pantomime. You don't even know what songs you're singing. And it was one of the S Club 7, or I don't even know what song it was. Love's Got a Hold of Your Heart. Love's got a hold of. I can't even sing it now. But they said, right, you're singing that song. And I went, I can't sing that song. It's too high for me. I can't sing that song. And that's the song we're singing, and I had the track and everything to it. So no choice. I had to do it. And Sean Traynor will tell you this. He was in stitches because he was playing the giant. So he was doing the voice of the giant down in the orchestra pit. And I'm standing and I'm going, I'll never be able to do this. And I went, that's it. I'm miming it. I am miming it. So I mimed it. And I was the best lip syncer in town. And everybody thought, she's Edel Sheridan, she can hold a tune there, doing that there. And there's me going. And every night I used to look down at Sean Traynor and he would look at me in stitches because I got away. Well, did I get away with it, folks? I don't know. I got away with it then.
I think you did. But I mean, when you were at school, then you were involved in quite a few of the drama groups.
With Newry Youth Drama with Pat Grant, I did Dark of the Moon with him, and I did The Crucible. So even Diarmuid Rankin was involved in that as well. Diarmuid acted in front as well. He didn't have to go do backstage work too. And then as in New Point plays as well. But with the Ulster Youth Theatre, that was brilliant. I was just finished my O-levels, and we auditioned for the Ulster Youth Theatre, and 6 weeks in the summer, that was us in Belfast, staying in halls of residence. And we did Romeo and Juliet in the Present Arts Centre, I think it was. And it was just a huge experience. And it made me realise, yeah, I'd like to do this. You know, I'd like to get involved in this more. And Mummy and Daddy sort of encouraged me, I won't say made me, but encouraged me, rather than audition for drama school, to do a degree in drama. So that's why I went that route.
Where did you study for that?
Well, it's so funny you should say that, because with the Ulster Youth Theatre, we entered a competition. And the competition, if you got through, you went and performed on the National Theatre in London. And it was the Olivier Theatre. So we got through, believe it or not. And I had auditioned to go to Strawberry Hill in Twickenham, in St Mary's College, to teach training. And when we were over there, I was standing in the wings at the Olivier Theatre. Oh my God, yawning, probably. Oh, why am I doing this? Why am I? And this guy, sound guy, he says, "Are you okay?" I mean, oh, why do I do this? And he says, "I want you to come back here afterwards and tell me why you do this." Unbeknown to me, the drama lecturer of the university that I had applied for was in that audience, and she'd actually seen me that night. But she didn't tell me months afterwards, whenever I went and studied at St Mary's, that she'd seen me at, you know, the National Theatre. So yeah, they were, and that was 3 years then studying over in London. But then, you know, came back home, still had the buzz and wanting to act, and didn't feel fulfilled because I hadn't got to drama school. So I went, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I auditioned for the Gaeity in Dublin. I got into the Gaeity and trained there for an extra 2 years. I loved it. It was the poorest time of my life, but it was the best 2 years in there. It was great, under Patrick Sutton. And something Patrick always said to me was, you have to, you know, create your own opportunities. I started up my own drama classes in the summer in the likes of Newry Library, Newry Sports Centre, and called that Connections. So sort of did that for a while, because I still have my speech and drama qualifications too, so that worked. So I was trying to create my own opportunities. Yeah. Then Butlins came along. I auditioned for Butlins in Ayr and worked as a children's entertainer for 2.5 years and had a blast.
Your younger sister went as well.
Yes, she wasn't meant to, but she came along. She was going over to
take her with you. Take her with you.
That basically was it. I got the job, so I had, but Rosalind was going over to university in the September, and I was going in June. And Rosalind went, "Sure, I'll come with you, and I'll chance it. Maybe I can get a job too." So I think she came over not knowing that she'd got the job with like 2 suitcases, and I had only 1. And I had the outfits, and I even have, look, I have a little Buttons Holidays street entertainer that I found that. God, I don't know how many years.
Lovely. Were you a tiny tot, junior, senior in the panto?
No, I was never involved in any panto. It was only I did that play, Don't Tell a Wife, with Charlie. You see, Joe and Jimmy Quinn, who used to always do the sets, lived in Ealing Terrace, and we lived in Ealing Terrace. So Charlie used to always visit the 2 brothers. So, and Daddy and Charlie worked with Daddy in FMC, and he would go, "What about your 2 girls, Pat? What about your 2 girls?" You know? And so Rosalind was involved, and I don't know how it came. I says, she'd never asked me in one of your plays. I met him along the street. Next thing I knew, it was in Don't Tell a Wife. And then he asked me, I think Aladdin was my first one. Aladdin asked me to play Aladdin, and I think that was around about 2000. The crack that we have, I mean, I would grip Damien Lavery's, he would know when I forgot my line. You would grip his arm, and he would just be laughing at me going, "Okay, I'm not going to help you out here," you know, because I'd be struggling with the line. So with Damien, and then with Eilish and I had some laughs, and Rosalind too. She couldn't keep a straight face on the stage with Rosalind, and you were the worst culprit out of them all for making people laugh. But yeah, a whole big family, and a lot of hard work, but a lot of fun. And I loved, what I love is the rehearsals in the canal court on Sunday morning. The wee cup of coffee and a couple of biscuits and a chat. And poor Charlie's trying to get a scene done, and we're busy talking about what we did the night before. And what's lovely now is all the children, all our children and that are getting involved in it. And when I look at Damien, and he had no children or anything before all this started, and now all his kids are in it. And my Annie Mae, she's in the chorus too. She loves it, and it's like a generation type thing that keeps going on and will continue to.
Do you have a favourite panto?
I would have to say Aladdin, because the crack that we had on that magic carpet was unreal, under that green screen, and everybody behind you, and the laughs and the jokes and everything that you do. Yeah, I would say Aladdin has to be a good one. Yeah, it would be the best one for me. But like, you can't go back. Cinderella, like, to be Cinderella at the age I was, to do it. That in itself was good.
You keep bringing that up, not me.
No, but do you know what? I actually looked at that picture of me, that video at the beginning, and I think I look younger now than I was in that. Who did my makeup on her that day?
Yeah, it was cold. We didn't have the makeup. Makeup didn't make it to get stuck in the snow.
Raz and I, we did a couple of shows together. We did Betty and Bobby's Macbeth. That was hilarious. We did that for schools, just the two of us on the stage.
Dirty Dusting.
Then Dirty Dustin. That was, I'll never forget Dirty Dustin. We didn't expect so many people to turn out for it. And, we'd only sort of done it amongst ourselves, and the jokes, we were getting the jokes, but when you don't have an audience, you think, is this funny? Are people going to laugh at this? And then we looked out, the steel staircase, and you could see the queues of people over by Tabby's and Friar Tuck's queuing, and we were like going, is this funny? Oh my God. But it turned out fantastic. And yeah, that was amazing. I loved that show. And then Rosalind and Teresa went on and did It's 9 o'clock, which is fantastic. And then the one-woman shows. And Rosalind still continues with the Sheridan stage too.
When we're coming out of lockdown and we get the audiences back into the halls, what show would you like to open with?
Something funny, something that's going to make people laugh. As Charlie always says, laughter is the best medicine. And I would love to do a show again with Charlie and be involved with that, and just to get everybody back again, and it's like to say, ta-da, we're back, we haven't gone anywhere, nothing's changed, nothing's happened, we're still going to do Grease Lightning.